There are now 6 movies in the Predator franchise, not counting those AVP films or the animated flick that came out not too long back. We have Predator, we have Predator 2, we have The Predators, Predator, Prey, and Predator Badlands. The naming is fantastic. No confusion whatsoever. And if you want to watch these in the proper chronological order, good luck with that. You can Google that one yourself. Today, the focus for me is reviewing the new flick that came out and letting you know whether Predator Badlands is actually Predator Goodlands. Bad. Let's keep going. Say, before I get into the spoiler-free review, if you wouldn't mind popping on that biomask and targeting those 3 dots squarely on the subscribe, I would appreciate it. All right, let's get to it. The first thing worth noting is this is from director Dan Trachtenberg, who did the last couple Predator films. He did the animated one, Predator Killer of Killers, and Prey. He also directed 10 Cloverfield Lane, which is a nice little film. So if you like his style, that's already something working in your favor. As for me, I love the work he did on Prey. I was really excited to see where he went with this. I went into this movie very optimistic, even with that nasty PG-13 rating it has. Keep in mind, Die Hard 4, also PG-13, and it's a damn good time. Granted, the swearing and the excessive blood was definitely missing in that film. As for Predator Badlands being PG-13, we don't have any swearing because there's no human characters, and the synthetics don't really use that sort of salty language. And 2, there's no blood because, again, there's no humans. There's alien pus and ooze on a cage. Short for occasion. But even so, the movie's very CG heavy. There's practical effects sprinkled in, of course, and we have a real dude in a Predator suit, which is sweet. But if you're looking for gritty realism like you had in the first Predator, just go watch that again, because that's not this. In fact, for me, this felt very different for a Predator film than all of the other ones. Even the goofy Shane Black one from a couple years back. But even as dumb as that one got with the Predator puppies, it's still watchable for me. I find all of these films at least somewhat engaging and fun to go through. Predator Badlands felt different, not just because it has a lot of comedy infused, not just because we're following a young runt predator who's trying to prove himself, but also just the way it looks, the way it feels, has kind of that Disney MCU gloss to it. Even when we're watching our main Predator Deck run through a dude with his plasma sword, it comes off far closer to an action scene from Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm not knocking this approach, I'm just giving you an idea of what you can expect. The story is basic, but it is building out this lore and this alien race of predators far more than I've seen in anything else. We're going to be spending a majority of this time with Deck as he hunts down his prey, which is the fierce, unkillable Kalisk. And you should be able to remember that name because they say Kalisk like 1,000 times. I'm going after the Kalisk. You can't kill the Kalisk. He's after the Kalisk. The Kalisk is over here. Kalisk, Kalisk, Kalisk. You do a drinking game to that word association, you are fucking dead 5 minutes into play. Joining Deck on his misadventure is Thea, played by Elle Fanning. Playing half of Elle Fanning, she's severed from the waist up, used as a glorified backpack, or as he refers to her, a tool, for the majority of the film. She's going to be the comic relief here, and she is very funny, she's very likable. I laughed quite a bit at some of her quips and just some of the reactions to things. But if that comic relief wasn't enough, don't worry, this film doubles down on it, as we have a cute little protagonist that's going to join the hunt as well. We have a trio going after the Kalisk. Did someone say Kalisk? Kalisk? Kalisk. Glossy, Marvel-esque approach to this movie aside, how is the action? Is there a lot of it? Well, these are both great questions I just asked myself for an easy answer. Yes, there is a lot of action. It's all very creative. It's all very cool. Again, it's missing the grit, but that doesn't mean we don't have limbs getting severed, bodies being ripped in half. It just all is kind of cartoonish looking because, again, ton of CG on display, which is fine, but without the blood and the swearing and kind of that grainy, gritty look to the movie, you're missing a little bit of that. So it does come off more family friendly. Even as I was watching this film, I said to myself, oh, my kids would really enjoy this one. Which is not something I said about the first Predator when people are being skinned and hung from trees. Actually, I take that back. I said that about the first Predator also. And I showed my kids at a very young age, but you know what? They grew up that day. That's character development. And whenever my son comes up to me and asks if we can rewatch Predator, I say, anytime. Let's talk about this little runt of a Predator for a second. What is he bringing to the table? Well, this is the first time in the live action movies that we're actually following one along as the main central protagonist. And he mostly worked for me. From a design side of things, the beady little yellow eyes sometimes come off as pretty silly. There's several moments in the film where I'm just looking at him like, what a doofus. You know, he's not really coming off as that threatening, fierce warrior I think it's trying to portray throughout. Granted, out of the fierce warriors, he's supposed to be one of the most pathetic. So it's trying to balance the look with the personality. For the most part, it gets it right. And he is a great character to traverse the land with. And I enjoyed the rapport he has with Thea. She's trying to get him to understand the nature of the world, how you don't necessarily have to hunt alone. He's kind of like, I was raised this way, shut the hell up and let me cook. From a pacing standpoint, we have about an hour and 45-minute film. It goes by very quickly. There's always stuff happening. There was one little moment of about a 10-minute span, I would say around 2/3 of the way through, where I thought, I don't really care about any of this stuff going on. Can we just move on and get back to the Predator side of things? That's about it though. Otherwise, it flies by. There are some awesome kills in this movie. My favorite actually doesn't have to do with the Predator. It's where Thea fights for a little bit, her upper body and her lower working in tandem to take out a group of guys. The legs run up a dude, does a cartwheel kick to the guy's chin. He falls back, her upper body grabs a blade, slides it under his head, but he stops himself just long enough for the legs to recover and boom, smash the skull into the weapon. It's for kids. A really cool, slick-looking video game when it comes to combat. In fact, I said that several times to my buddy who came with. I said, I feel like the director played a few PlayStation exclusives and said, I'm gonna make these movies. Horizon Zero Dawn comes to mind. When we see our Predator with his laser bow and arrow sliding on the ground, shooting a couple volleys at plant creatures, or later on when he's dealing with some synthetic characters, it comes off kind of like Detroit Become Human. I know that some of these references are going to be completely useless to people, but I'm saying them for myself at this point. We have an original score in this one. It's booming, it's creeping in and out throughout the film. I love it. It works really well. My buddy's take was incredibly similar to mine. He enjoyed the film. His only gripe, which I don't share, is that he was hoping it would build more with the other films. It really does feel standalone. You don't have to know anything else about Predator. And I said to him, that's kind of how most of them are. Out of all the big trilogies out there, Predator films seem to be the most standalone that don't really connect much at all with the others. And I think that's kind of interesting. Keeps them fresh, keeps them different, keeps them from pigeonholing themselves so they don't have to do what Jurassic World just did with the last one and go, yeah, just kidding. The dinosaurs aren't really roaming the earth anymore. That didn't play out well for us, and we didn't know how to write a script around it, so they're all just dying out from weather. That kind of lazy, cheap tactic does not have to be applied to this franchise, and I'm cool with that. And as far as Predator Badlands, I'm cool with it as well. Not my favorite. Definitely would have liked that R rating on here. Definitely could have pared back on the buddy road trip humor that's going on. But overall, it's a very entertaining watch. There's some beautiful grand vista shots. It is a pretty looking movie. And there's enough action here to keep you engaged. All right, that's all I got. Let me know your thoughts on Predator Badlands. If you saw it already, leave a comment below. If I piqued your interest or maybe I turned you off from it, I apologize. Just giving you my lay of the land. Let me know in the comments below. Please, once again, think of subbing to the show. Adam Does Movies on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I would appreciate it. Hopefully, see you next time.